Seems like it is. So I had a lot of people ask me about about the $500 Goodwill stuff that we were going through, and so I started digging through it, and you know, uh, I was surprised by some stuff. I can't say that I was super excited about anything, but I was definitely surprised about some stuff. So I'll show you guys over here. This is kind of, see if I can get it to zoom in a little bit there, uh, or not, maybe. Huh. Well, I don't know what's going on here with the camera. Sorry, we're trying. There we go. Okay, so some of the boxes are, this is kind of what we got with the boxes here. They're all in order, collated, and sleeved. This is all 2015 Bowman right here. All this stuff that is kind of in order and sleeved up. This over here is more Bowman. We've got Heritage up here, all sleeved. This is all Heritage from 2015, all sleeved as well. There's a little more Heritage back in this side. Got some 2018 tops back over here. Making sure you guys can still see. It's getting a little blurry there. I don't want it to be blurry. Let's see. Zoom in. I don't know how to. There we go. That's some 2018 tops right back here. This is all 90 Pro Set football and 89 Pro Set football, all sleeved up. Those are Joe Montana. There's some packs in there for us to open up, like some. Hey, Robert. Hey, there's some packs in there for us to open up, like some 88 Donruss, some 89, which I think I already opened up the only 89 Donruss that was in there. Then we've got this box over here, same thing. It's all sleeved. And then it's in order mostly. It's not full sets. Now this Bowman over here is pretty much a full set, and the Heritage are actually two full sets over there. So this is all partial sets. I've kind of sorted out to like some good players and, you know, things like that. Over here, we've got some Allen and Ginter. Sorry, the carpet's all ruined up here in this room that I loaded all this stuff in. But over here, we've got Allen and Ginter all sleeved up. Everything's sleeved. Common, stars. We have some 95 tops with some Tops Gold mixed in it. That's all sleeved up. Then over here, you get into your, this is the 89 Pro sets. There's like 3 full sets of 89 Pro set. Only there's no rookies. Like, so the Deion Sanders, the Barry Sanders, the Troy Aikman, they're all gone. But this is all 89 Pro set. This is probably 3 full sets, maybe 4. We've got 87 Donruss over here and that far side right there. And then you've got 89 Donruss, 90 Donruss, 90 Bowman over here. And then you've got some, you know, little smaller stuff like some 91 Fleer and some 90 Score, stuff like that mixed in there. And then all of this, that stuff's not sleeved up, which is weird. If you took the time to sleeve up all of this stuff, I don't know why you wouldn't just sleeve up of all of it. But over here, you've got some hit football. You have a little bit of the rookies from the 89 Score and 89 Pro set back here in the back. There's some 4 Sport back there. There's some Signature Series. This is some 87 tops that's in here, which I'll show you some of those in a little bit. And then you've got these Signature Series. They're all 1 out of 4,500. There's a bunch of those, but I mean, I don't know much about hockey anyway. But all the 4 Sports that are in here, you've got some football. Stadium Club. I think it's 90, 91 or 92. Then you've got some Score football in here, and this is all sleeved up in the front. But what I'll turn the camera around to me a little bit. I'm over here in another room, so I don't have my whole setup behind me. So it's a mess back there behind me. But that's kind of what all we've got for. You can see I've got over on this side. I've got a bunch of stuff back here behind me. you can kind of see that's what we got of all of those. How we doing, folks? Everybody doing good? Yeah, so you can see that's what we've kind of got is the whole breakdown of what all we got from the $500 Goodwill stuff. It's mainly 2015 Bowman, but with the stars, like, there's no numbered cards in there. There's no huge rookies in there, but there's everything else that's in there. Oh yeah, slipping on ice is no fun. No, definitely not. I've done that before. I did that back in college a couple of times. Let's see my hat straight. I don't know. But so I was going to show you guys, while a couple of you guys are on here, what we would call our hits that were on there. So out of the small box that I kind of did the 3 videos on, I was going to do more videos, but nobody seemed to really pick out the players or anything like that, or seem to, it wasn't all that exciting, let's be honest. But the best card out of the football that I probably pulled out was this Almond Green draft picks, which is numbered 315. There was another numbered baseball card out of there, but it was really nobody that I knew. And then this McGuire 87 rookies, but it's 88. It's an 88 commemorative card. But so through the sleeved up stuff. Now here's a question I have for some of you guys. Yeah, the fantasy baseball league. Yeah, I'll probably do one again. Yeah, I think everybody had a good time with it last time. I mean, I didn't I didn't do very well. I mean, I did okay. But yeah, I'll probably do it again. I'll probably set something up. I think that'll work out. But so here's my question for you guys, with a couple of you guys on here. So all of these cards are sleeved up and look like they were sleeved up right out of the pack. Even some of the 80, 87 tops is really the ones that I have these questions on, plus some of the 89 Pro set. Should I attempt, I think it's the only way that I'm going to get my money back, attempt to send some of these in 2 gig graded. They're just base rookies. So like, for example, not that I'd send this in for like personally, but like, this Javi Lopez is a Topps Gold. I would send that in for myself. Really good corners, really good surface, all that. The centering's not terrible, but that was some of the cards I ran across. Like, as you guys see these, let me know what you would do with them. If you would just lot them up, sell them raw, not worry about it. Personally, I think they're in really good shape, and I think the person took really good care of them that did it. But yeah, and jump back to the fantasy thing real quick. Yeah, if I can get 10 people or 12 people like we did last time, yeah, I'll set it up. I'll probably do a video and we'll start setting that up. I mean, everybody seemed to have fun. So, but these are the cards that we pulled out of there. So we pulled that Javi Lopez one. There was like this Barry Sanders cards, which the question I'm asking is, this as a 10 is about $120 card as a 10. And it's clean corners, clean surface. It looks like centering's not too terrible, but all the cards that were in here are in super great condition, I would say. And, something like these cards that I ran across in there are all these Barry Sanders, the photo contest cards. I mean, there's like 9 or 10 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 of them. One of them in here, I'm pretty sure would get a, usually PSA, but I know they changed their standards recently. So I don't know how that changes their typical grading. I know it's mainly on the centering that they changed. Like, it went from 60-40 to 55-45 or something like that. So it makes me a little nervous. I don't know if it makes older PSA stuff worth less or worth more, or I don't know. But I mean, out of these, I should be able to pick out one of the Barry Sanders cards that would probably be as a 10, and that would be worth it. Even a 9 wouldn't be bad. Yeah, is it really? See, most of the time when I graded stuff all the time, probably back in the day, I haven't graded much since 2000. So back in the day when I graded stuff, I sent it all to BGS. But that would have been 2000 football stuff that I would have sent, and not Tom Brady. I horrifically picked the sets that I enjoyed in 2000 football were 2000 Topps Finest and 2000 Topps Chrome, which did not have any Tom Brady cards. So I sent like Ron Dane, Peter Warrick, and things like that into BGS. I haven't submitted or at least self-submitted anything to PSA ever, really. I bought PSA cards, but I haven't self-submitted to a PSA in ever. I've only done BGS, but I've talked to TNT submission services, and they're real good on helping you try to figure out if you're going to send it in and to kind of oversee it and stuff like that. But so we'll get back to some of the other cards. So we had this other Barry Sanders card that was in that 90 Pro set. So 3 of them came from the 90 Pro set. Like I said, the 89 Pro set sets that we had back here, they do not have the rookies. It stops at 450 and there's no rookies in there. It's pretty much a full set outside of that. So I have some of the Joe Montana cards. I have Dan Marino cards. And in reality, they're in outstanding condition, but I don't know if it's worth me paying the money to get it graded and it come back a 9 or an 8. I looked at like some of the 7s and 6s that they've graded, and I'm like, man, this is in better shape than that. But if it doesn't come back a 10, it's not really worth it. And it scares me to do that. And whoever this person was that had this, that donated to Goodwill, they had a whole set of 2012 Topps football with Kirk Cousins and Robert Griffin III. But they took the whole set apart and sleeved every one of the cards, like every single commons, stars, rookies. It's all sleeved up and all put in these boxes. That's how it was donated to Goodwill. So I pulled out, because you guys know I collect a lot of Christian Walker stuff. I pulled out 3 Christian Walker cards out of the Bowman sets that were down there. There's probably a couple more in there, but I pulled out 3 of them that I thought were in really good shape, and I may end up getting graded. But again, I don't know that that's worth it to get it graded. It's not an autograph one. It's just, I don't know. And I'm really trying to see what you guys would think, because I mean, I hate sending base cards in to get graded. There's a Junior Seau draft pick card. There were 2 Sterling Sharp rookies that were in there, but it's not one of the featured rookies, and it's technically his rookie, even though it was the second year. So those are in really great shape, and it may be worth grading it. I'm scared to send a base rookie card, because if it doesn't get that, glorious 10, it's probably not worth it. Yeah, I mean, Christian Walker's, as far as the investment part of cards, or a prospecting type thing, Christian Walker actually paid off pretty well for me. I bought a whole bunch of his stuff when he was down in the minors behind Goldschmidt. And I was like, well, something happens to Goldschmidt, or he gets traded, or, whatever. And then sure enough, he got traded the next season. And I probably told this story 100 times, so I'm sure you guys have heard it, and I'm sorry. Yeah. But I'm sure, the ball's sitting over there in a nice little protective UV case, so it'll be there. But so Christian Walker did I bought his cards for like $2, $3, $4, $5 for just like a base Bowman autograph card when he was down in the minors. He had 29 home runs in the minors, stuck behind Goldschmidt. And then when he came up and he hit those 8 home runs in like 10 games or 11 games or something like that, his cards jumped up. And I sold those base rookies for like $40, $50. It's just, it has worked out for me for Christian Walker. So that's kind of why I keep his cards, because personally, and it's happened twice now, he's come around on a cycle where he went down and then he came back and started hitting home runs again and playing really well, and the cards went back up. So I wouldn't say that I necessarily do it for a profit. But a lot of these cards that I've come across in here are not really ones that I collect. It's not anything that I was really chasing or anything like that, or anything I collect. So to be able to buy this and go through it and see what all someone had, suggested as something they donated to Goodwill, I was like, oh yeah, this is what we need. What someone has suggested, a list on the Goodwill website, kind of surprised me a little bit. But so I pulled out, like, there's this Topps Gold, Griffey card with, I think it's Lenny Dykstra. Yeah. On there. And it's just a Topps Gold, but it's in great shape. And I don't know that anyone's searching for those Topps Golds, but Griffey anything. Obviously, there was a 90 Bowman Griffey, but this I wouldn't grade, because as you can see, it's right heavy on that side. I always love these Fleer cards. That was in there. There was actually this one, and then the other one that I'll get to in a second. And the thing is, in a 10, these are all worth doing something with. But I mean, I always loved this Bo Jackson Stadium Club card, so that was in there. I pulled that out, and this stuff like this is what I'll be keeping. The Griffey card out of there is always a solid looking card. That was in this lot. So I mean, there were good cards. Not if I'm looking at like this Nolan Ryan card. I mean, this is one of the cards that everybody wanted. And it was in there. And I mean, you can see, like, I'll zoom in. Corners, are not too shabby. But I mean, that was one of those cards that everybody wanted. There was a couple, few Tom Brady cards in there for the people that I think I had. Let me see. Yeah, there were these Tom Brady cards that were in there. Tom Brady's always nice. Yeah, the Bo and the Nolan. I mean, and those cards are beautiful. Like the photography on those old stadium clubs. I mean, they're just beautiful cards. This is like a black Strata, but I mean, it's not anybody major. It's Jake Locker. There was very few numbered cards in there. So there was this Stephen Taylor, that was numbered to 99. That was in there. Strata. I pulled these guys out personally just because I love the Impractical Jokers. I did not find a Joe card, like the Joe Gatto. I did not find that. So I'm sure there's one in there, but it was not in that set that I was looking for. There was like a black Rick Porcello, not anything major. This Judge was in there, though. That was nice. The Gold Cup Aaron Judge Future Stars. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Bo did definitely play at Auburn. Him and Frank Thomas. Then there was this Judge in there as well. So, and then, like I said, they had sleeved up the entire 2012 top set. So, those are probably the two top rookies that were in there, Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson. I put those, and, I got Sal, the Sal card. Like I said, I couldn't find Joe. So if anyone's got a Joe, let me know. There was also in that, we had the Clubber Lang out of there as well. I believe I'll get to it though. There's a Drago. This was a Torrey Hunter refractor. It was one of the only few refractors in there. So I went ahead and top loaded that. I mean, it's not, you guys know I collect a lot of Emmett stuff, and I didn't have either one of these. So they're both pro lines. I didn't have a lot of pro line, but. And then this one was like a limited print run, 1 out of 1,000, or I'm sorry, 1 out of 40,000. So I was like, well, we'll sleeve that up too, just in case. I had pulled this Berman card out of that small box, but then I found a much cleaner, better one right here. And again, if I were to get this graded, it's probably like a $60 card if it came back at 10. But I don't know if, I mean, that's some people probably do spell Auburn like that. I'm not that far from Alabama, where I'm at. I was in Alabama earlier today. So there was this Derek Carr rookie refractor. I don't know if you can see the refractor part. There we go, a little bit. That was in there. I mean, I don't know that that's a huge money one, but the Berman card, I mean, I just love that card. I have another one that was in there, but it had bad corners, and that one's crisp corners, surface looked good. But, I took the Drago card out for me, of course. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's all right. But there was this Bo that was in there from 90 Donruss, which again, I mean, it's just a 90 Donruss Bo, but it's in some really great condition, and it looks like it's been sleeved up since it was a pack. There was a 88 Topps Glavine, which I'll probably keep for myself. This was the one that bummed me out of the whole thing. Who would get Bo to sign it? Bo's expensive to sign stuff. I've seen him in a couple card shows around here. I mean, I haven't seen him. I've seen that he was going to be in a couple card shows. But this Chipper card kind of disturbs me a little bit because of all the cards, they're all sleeved up and nice. But, of course, the Chipper card that Berman. Oh, yeah, that would be really cool if I could get that done. But this Chipper card had a dinged corner right there at the top. One of the only few cards that had a ding corner on it. Yeah, that Berman, that's a good idea. That might be, I don't know how I'd go about doing that. But there's like, some of the 90s top stuff. It's cheaper to get Bo Jackson auto from a Bo Jackson collector or yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. But so like the 90s tops, I had Bernie Williams and Larry Walker in there. And then, of course, we had the Frank Thomas, had the name on it, but that's okay. I still have never run across a no name. There was a Sosa in there. So it was like someone, in my opinion, it was someone that was building out sets. And I know I had made a video earlier that was kind of amazed. They had sleeved up a whole bunch of kid reporters. There was about 17 kid reporters all sleeved up in there. And I was like, man, who takes the time to sleeve up kid reporters? But what I think it is I think it was someone that was building sets for like card shows. And let's see. Everyone should own a Harmon Killebrew autograph. I used to have a Harmon Killebrew autograph card that I wanted to break. But somebody really, really wanted it. And so I ended up giving it to him. I got one signed. Oh, the Larry Walker. See, I don't do as much TTM as I should. I do a lot of going to card shows where there's people signing stuff and getting it signed in person. And I like take a picture with them and stuff like that. It was funny because last year I went to Dothan and John Rocker was signing autographs there. And I just saw that video apparently of John Rocker and Pat Mahomes Sr. And so I was like, man, I just saw John Rocker last month. I need to get more TTM information. And the only one I know is we've got Larry Parrish lives not too far from here. So, I mean, I know his address, but that's about it. And I know he does a lot of TTM stuff. So if anyone needs any Larry Parrish stuff, hit me up and I'll get you his info. But yeah, so does he? I mean, I'll look into that. I have no problem. No, I'm thinking about keeping the Jack Combs Duke University autograph postcard. Yeah, I mean, I'm not against getting something, TTM. Like I said, I just have fun going in person and talking to the people and stuff like that. But they're very hard to, especially around here. Like if you get one or two people to sign autographs, that's kind of what you get, I mean, I have another one of the Chris Berman cards if you want me to send it to you to get signed. I'll look through this Pro Set box back here. I may have more of them. I don't know. There's various sets. Let me see what that number is on the card. No, that's something different. It says announcer collection number 5. I'll look through and see if I've got another one. If I get it authenticated, I'll get anywhere from. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, there you go. Even better. Yeah. But yeah, I'll either send you one of the Berman cards that I have in there, or I'll look and see if I have some other ones, and I'll send it to you. I mean, I just thought that was a really cool card. I didn't realize they had the broadcasters, and there's more. I know when I was going through it, actually, there are more announcers and stuff like that are in the sets. So I'll look and see if there's another Berman card in there. But one of the other cards that was in there was the Jim Tomei and Ryan Klesko card, which I always like. So I mean, they're not huge cards. Like they're not cards that I'm going to retire off of. And even if I got them all graded, let's say they all came back as a 10, which I know they're not going to do. I'm not that naive in grading. Let's say they all came back as a 10. It may be $1,200 that I get back in cards, and I probably will have spent $600 to grade them all. The Lemke card is really just for me, Lemke rookie. But again, I mean, I don't know if you can see it too much in the holder, but like those corners are, whoops, the other way. Those corners are really crisp. The edges are good. So, I mean, this Bo card is always one of my favorite Bo cards as well. Just the action photos on him. There were a couple Griffey cards floating around that there we go, that I pulled out of there. So it's not terrible cards. It's not $500 worth of cards. I can tell you that. But I don't know the best way to do it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they're in amazing condition. And even the commons, like someone took the time to, sleeve these up. And I don't know if they picked out the best commons or picked out the best cards to build these sets with, but they're all in really good shape. And so I don't know if, I should try to build some sets with it. I don't know if I should try to just lot them out and say, here's 10, because some of the way the sets are built out, no, they're not top loaded. And what caught me off guard when I purchased the lots, I kind of looked at the pictures and I was like, all right, well, this looks like some of these are sleeved up. I bet they're going to be good cards. They're going to be good cards because they're sleeved up. And then one whole section was top loaded cards. I top loaded these, so yes, all of these are top loaded. But in one whole section, about 1,000 count side, was all top loaders. Like, man, if they sleeved up all these, they're going to be like $1, $2, $3 cards, and the top loaded ones are all going to be fire. They're going to be some good old cards. They were empty top loaders. It was a whole side of empty top loaders, no cards in them. So I mean, I got a few, like 150 maybe top loaders in there, between a couple different boxes, but they didn't have any cards in them. So, but everything pretty much, I'd say 75% of the cards outside of that Pro Set box are all sleeved up. I can show you, I don't know if you were here when I was showing them. So like this whole, all of this is all sleeved up, all sleeved up. Here's the, 89 Pro Set, 90 Pro Set. There's some 2018 baseball tops, or 2015. And then all this is, all sleeved up right through there. So trying to get the camera a little more zoomed in for you. Whoops. So just doesn't want to do it. There we go. But all this is sleeved up. All these cards over here, all sleeved up. And then all this was sleeved up except for that top Stadium Club football. Then these boxes, that's the 89 Pro Set that's in there. And then these over here, 87 Donruss, 89 Donruss, 90 Donruss, those aren't sleeved. So these two boxes aren't sleeved up. Everything else, even this hit football that's right there, sleeved up. And so like that's some 95 Topps baseball, some Allen and Ginter. There's some 87 Topps back here as well. And that's where I pulled the Bo Jackson from and all that. But all that stuff, it was sleeved up, which was weird. I mean, that's very time consuming for somebody to sit down and do that. But like I said, I think it was somebody that was building sets out and, trying to create something to sell. And so, there was, the problem is a lot of the rookies and stuff aren't really in there. So they would have pulled out all the good stuff. But like this whole heritage set, and you can see like what they did. And so what I was trying to explain, I don't want to ding up the cards after somebody, but so like there's card number 214, right? And it's sleeved up. And then if they had another one, 214 again. So you'd be going through it and it'll be, there's the next card. That'll be your 215. And so it's all in order. And if they've got extras of the cards, they're in there as well. So it was a very unique collection, to say the least. And I can't really pinpoint the collector because they have stuff from 87 all the way up to 2015. So it's somebody like probably my age, but that had a little more dedication to the sport to sleeve everything up. As far as the packs go that I got that were in there, there were some 88 rack packs. There were a couple of those in there. There were a few of the Pacific football. There was hello, there we go. There was 92 and 91 Pacific football. Yeah, that's the whole thing. And so like money wise, I'm like, okay, I spent a little over $500 for everything. If I were to take all of these cards out of the sleeves and just use the sleeves, there's probably 8,000, 10,000 sleeves. I mean, that's $100 just in sleeves. And then they had, 150 or so top loaders that were in there. That's money. There were 3 5,000 count boxes. That's money too. So, I mean, am I going to make $500 back? Probably not. unless all these were to come back at 10 and I took the risk of grading it all like that. But I mean, there's a couple of packs to open up for you guys, which I like doing. There's some 88 baseball on there. And then, the 92 Pacific, there's a couple packs of those. So, I mean, I don't know that it was worth it. It was fun. I mean, I really like going through some of that stuff. And there was a time that I wasn't really collecting as many cards as I do now. I probably stopped collecting around 2010, somewhere around there was probably the last year that I remember collecting pretty hard because I was going after Tebow rookie cards and I was going after a bunch of like Mike Stanton and Steven Strasburg type stuff. So that's probably the last that I really collected heavily until about 2018. Yeah, if I could find one, I know I went to a Braves game a few years ago. Shoot, this is probably 10 years ago. And they had where you could buy a mystery bag that had balls in it. So, like a signed autograph ball. And so I bought one. One of my buddies went with me and he bought one too. And I can't, no, not the pitcher, the batter. Yeah, Giancarlo Stanton now, but back then he was Mike Stanton. And so, yeah, like his rookie card was 2010. It was him and Strasburg, and there was one other big rookie that back then I don't remember who it was. But I bought a whole bunch of boxes of Topps Chrome, trying to get their autographed rookie cards, which I did. I did end up getting a Mike Stanton. So it's pretty much junior, not senior. Yeah, sure. Yeah. But so we ended up buying these autographed baseballs, and I can't remember who I got, but he got Chuck James is who it was, and he got the ball and it had C and J, and it was like, oh, I got a Chipper Jones, and then we looked at it, and I was like, that looks like Chuck. That's a Chuck on there, and it was Chuck James. So what was funny is when I was down in Orlando a couple weeks ago, they had at Orlando Sports Card, they had a box of cards, you could sort by team or whatever. And they had a bunch of autograph cards in there, and they had a Chuck James autograph card in there. And so I bought it for him and ended up giving it to him, just kind of put with his ball. And I can't even remember who I got. It was, I don't know if it was like Martin Prado or someone like that. But yeah, I mean, the mystery bags are cool. If I would have got a Chipper Jones, that would have been great. I know a guy that was a couple guys behind us, that he got a Fred McGriff autograph ball, and so that was pretty neat. But yeah, I didn't end up getting any of the big names. Not that Chuck James isn't a big name, but yeah. So I think that's kind of. I know I said I was going to jump on here and show you guys what all was in the Goodwill stuff, and so one of the other questions that I had on things were, and I want to be careful handling these, but there's some of these cards in here. Like I don't want to mess it. I'm probably going to drop them all right after I said that. But so some of this 89 Pro Set stuff. Let's see. Like let's take this for an example. I'm trying to keep it in order too. But so like this Dan Marino, there's a bunch of them. There's about 5 of them in there. And you can see in the sleeves, like there we go. Corners are all halfway decent. Edges are all halfway decent. Do you think that's worth me trying to grade? Or should I try to do something else with it? Like there's this Troy Aikman, second year card. Yeah, I mean, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 of those Dan Marinos, followed by 15 Randall McDaniels. And then after that, you run into some Fluties. Let me get it. You run into some Fluties that are all in great shape. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, it does depend on the player. But I'm saying, so taking players of the same caliber, let's say Dan Marino and Joe Montana. Let's say those 2 are in here that I've seen both of, and they're in what I would say is outstanding condition. There's receivers, I showed you the Barry Sanders ones. Hang on one second, I'm losing. I don't want to mess these things up. Okay. Yep. There's Like there's Michael Irvin, you know, stuff like that in here. And I just don't know, you know. Yeah, I should probably go through the pop counts on it. I know with some of those Barry Sanders like that. So the one that I showed you guys earlier that I had like 10 of, there's actually a low pop count on that, or it looked like it was. But I mean, one of these has got to be a 10. I mean, it 1 out of 10. And, you know, I just don't know what I should do with some of the other ones. Like that Dan Marino. So looking at prices on it, the Dan Marinos, a 10 would be worth it. A 9 is not. And I considered, you know, just sending in all 3 of them to see what I got, but I hate to do that. I just hate to take that risk of putting that many cards in there, because I feel like if I sent all 10 of those Barry Sanders in, by principle, they're just going to not give all of them a 10, which I don't think they're all a 10 anyway. But, you know, I feel like the more you send in, the larger risk that you run on that. So I just don't know. And so I was hoping some of you guys would give me some tips, and checking the pop count is a good idea on it. Because I've got one of my buddies that he collects a bunch of wrestling cards, and he checks pop counts on his wrestling cards, but his stuff is all that 82, 83 wrestling all-star stuff. And what's funny is some of the pop counts, he's the only one that has those pop count cards. So, but he's graded a significant amount of 82, 83 wrestling all-stars, and some stuff before that and some stuff after that. So his collection is quite vast. I think I've shown you guys a couple of pictures before of his stuff. But he's been on a few YouTube podcasts and stuff on here, I believe, talking about wrestling cards. And I think he was in Beckett with a story of Beckett a few years ago. I'll have to ask him when that is. But I mean, he went to high school with me, and, you know, we talk collecting cards every once in a while. And when I do go to my personal wrestling events and things like that, and there's people signing autographs, I'll let him know, hey, do you want to get any of your cards signed by these people? And sometimes he'll mail them up to me, and we'll get a couple signed. I know a few years ago we had Tony Atlas here, and he sent me up a card to get signed. Before that, we had Joyce Grable, Mr. Wrestling 2, some stuff like that, and he sent me cards up to get them. Jerry the King Lawler, and you know, things like that. Yeah, I mean, that's what I got these for, so I can stare them down with my 2.5 magnifying. Yeah, and see, that's the problem, is a rookie card, you know, like that Bo Jackson Future Stars. I definitely want to get that graded, even though I'm a little concerned about the centering on it. But a lot of the rookie cards are gone out of this stuff. I know in some of this heritage down here that I'm just kind of looking down at it, is like, so these type cards of the heritage, that stuff's in there. But an individual rookie card, I didn't really see a lot of those. You know, and I do got a sweet Ryan Sandberg manager Phillies card. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was somebody, and people had questioned me before, like, oh, you know, because I had said something about the kid reporters. I had a lot of people, especially over on other platforms, question me, oh, it's probably just a kid who, you know, really likes collecting and want to protect their cards. I don't see that, because it's a very vast collection for a kid to be doing that. And it was nitpicked through to pick out some of the good stuff. Although I did get, you know, like 87 tops. I do have probably the top cards in 87 tops, in my opinion. I got Bonds, I got McGuire, I got the Bo Jackson. You know, they were all in there. And so it leads me to think that this was an older person that was building sets out and sleeved everything. But the weird thing is none of the boxes have prices written on it, or none of the cards have stickers on them or anything like that, or none of the sleeves have it. So I don't know, but I feel like it was somebody that was building out sets to sell, because the way they're facing is, so I've got one 2015 Heritage set facing one way, and then one 2015 Heritage set facing the other way. So if you had set it up on a table, you could have people on either sides looking at it and going through there and picking out their commons, or picking out their, you know, set building cards and all that. And they're set up, like I showed you guys, there may be 3 or 4, like 2014. So like I said, when I was looking at the 89 Pro set, there was like 15 Randall McDaniels, and then there's 3 Dan Marinos, and there's 1 Joe Montana. So I'm thinking that, you know, it was somebody that was just selling them individually like that. But for some reason they sleeved up kid reporters. And so I was like, that is way too much dedication. But what I think on that is, I think it was in 2015 is probably when someone did this, because there's nothing after 2015 in there really. So I'm thinking it was in 2015 that they did that, and those kid reporters, people actually been buying them at that point and using them. So that's my thought on that, is that if they sleeved up kid reporters, there were 17 sleeved up kid reporters, and so if they sleeved them up, now maybe one day, I don't know. I've seen people that have graded kid reporters, and so, or I'm sure there are people that have graded. I've seen checklists that are graded and things like that, and other promotional cards. So there may be people that are grading kid reporters, and if so, I've got some sleeved up ones that are in great shape. But I don't know that I would have the wherewithal to grade a kid reporter. But, and then the other thing, I don't think I showed you guys this. The other thing that was in there that I had saw it on the listing, on the Goodwill listing itself, but it's a whole box of the puzzle pieces from various years. And I know a lot of people will build out the puzzle pieces, the puzzles. Yeah, kid reporters are kind of the Rodney Dangerfield. They get no respect. But so there was a whole box of the puzzle pieces, which is cool. I may actually build out a puzzle. I mean, you leave it together. I'm not going to put the puzzle together. But I may actually build out a couple of puzzles. But I see on eBay that those puzzles sell like a complete set for, $10 or something like that. Not that I would probably, you guys know I talk about selling stuff and doing things all the time, and I don't really ever sell anything. So yeah, I mean, they're cool puzzles. You might as well. And $10, it ain't. I mean, I'd probably have more fun putting the puzzle together than what I would do with the $10. Although I do, yeah. See, that's a good idea. And I just ordered a bunch of frames for some of my autographed pictures that I got. But I do have a trip coming up here at the end of the month, actually in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I leave in 2 weeks, and so I am trying to put some stuff on and sell it so I have more money to spend on my trip. I say I'm taking a vacation, but I've already looked at like 5 different card shops that I want to visit and things like that. And I don't know if I told you guys this. I was in Birmingham last week. I went to Birmingham. I don't think so. I mean, I'll be in Cleveland, and then going to Cincinnati, which is going to be far away from there. Yeah, and that's what I ordered, was some 8x10 frames. I ordered 8x10s for those pictures. So I got that Butterbean picture that I got signed. I have let me see. I've got Buff Bagwell picture. I've got John Rocker signed a picture for me and a couple cards. I have a lot of wrestling photos. I have like Animal from the Road Warriors. I have Jerry the King Lawler. Let's see. I have Taylor Swift. I'm not all that. It's not all that exciting, but I have that autograph picture as well. But anyway, so I looked at a couple cards. But what I was saying is, I was in Birmingham last week, and I went into this shop. It was called Magic City Collectibles, is what it was called. And so I went in there and I started looking around, and they had some. There was 2 things that I almost bought. I almost bought a 2024 Topps Chrome box that they had there for $250, which would have been $275 with tax, which was a halfway decent price. I almost bought it, but then I saw a card that they had there that was an autographed Dale Murphy, Chipper Jones, and Ronald Acuna green, numbered to 10, and they had $500 on it, and I was so tempted to buy it. And if it had been not that I don't like Acuna, I love Acuna. I'm just concerned that he's going to have some issues staying healthy. I think I'm hoping not, but my fear is that he's not going to be able to stay as healthy as he needs to be to reach that upper echelon. If it had been like Freddie Freeman on there, I don't know that I paid $500 for it, but I probably would have bought it around like 350 or 300 or something. But I saw that card and it was a green, and I was like, man, I really wanted to have that card. But instead, what I bought was I bought 2 boxes of 89 Bowman, which I'll open up on the channel for you guys, but they were only $30. I opened those up on not too long ago. I opened the one box up that I bought at the Dothan Card Show for $40, and these were 30. So I bought those 2, and then they had 2 boxes of 87 tops. So I bought those as well, and they were $35 a piece. So they had good prices at this place. And next time I'm in Birmingham, which probably won't be for another year or so, but next time I'm in Birmingham, I'm gonna swing by that shop again. But at least now I have. So to open up for you guys at some point, I have, and I'll probably do it on a live. I'll just open up a box. I have 2 89 Bowman boxes. I have 2 87 Tops boxes, and I have an 89 Donruss box I told you guys I ordered a while ago. So, I mean, I feel like I got a good price, even though those prices were, without tax. But still, I mean, it was 10% tax. So it still felt like it was a great price on stuff. Yeah, I will rip it. I'm, and I'll do it on here for the guys. And so what I did is, and I'm going to tell you guys this tragedy that I had, and I am very upset with myself. When I was down in Orlando, I bought some tall sleeves for the 89 Bowman. That box that I opened, the 89 Bowman box that I opened, I pulled 3 King Griffey Jr. rookie cards out of there. And so I bought the tall sleeves. And when I got home, I was putting the cards into the sleeves. The sleeves were a little too snug, and it dinged the bottom corner of one of them. Already had a ding corner, but it dinged the bottom corner of 2 of them when I put them into the sleeves. So I went on there and ordered a little bit wider sleeves, like 1/8 of an inch. And I've been testing out 89 Bowmans sliding into that sleeve all day. So when I open up those 2 boxes and hopefully we pull some Griffies out of there, I can sleeve them up nicely. Because one of those Griffies I was going to try to get graded. One of those 89 Bowman Griffies I was going to try to get graded. But the other ones were kind of off center, stuff like that. So what I'll probably do is I made those 89 Bowmans that I have with a little corner ding on them or off center a little bit. I'm just going to give those away. Probably when I open the 89 Bowman box, or, for one of my giveaways, I'll just give those 3 89 Bowman rookie cards away. I was sad. I was sad that I did it, but I learned a lesson. I learned like, hey, if you're going to try something like that, I got the top loaders that were the right size for the 89, but they're actually a little taller. But the sleeves were snug. They were 2 inches instead of the ones I ordered were 2 1/8 inch. And it's shocking what, yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll send you a better one out of there. Yeah, I'm not going to send you one with a ding corner. That's not cool to do. But yeah, yeah. It was rough. I mean, it's either that or I put them on eBay and just sell them that way and just say, hey, these 2 have a ding corner, or these 3. I don't know yet. We'll see. I probably get $30 for the 3 of them if I'm really lucky. But yeah, so I did not pull out the father and son Griffey one out of there, which upset me. I pulled a Gwyn one, like with the Gwyn brothers, and then I pulled Stoudemire's, and then I pulled the Alomars. Was it? No. It was Ripkins. So I did not pull a Griffey one out of there at all. So I really want to pull one of those out of the 2 boxes, and I'd love to pull, some halfway decent rookie cards out of there. But yeah, since I'm not sending those to get graded, yeah, I mean, it's a cool card. It's not quite the 89 Upper Deck iconic, but I mean, it's close. That was the, probably the second best Griffey rookie card during that time period. I mean, I guess if you really, I mean, some people like the 89 Donruss one. But I mean, I have that too. I have 89 Donruss to open up for you guys. So, I mean, I think I've got some stuff that we might enjoy. You never know. Imagine pulling with Griffey Jr. Well, I don't know. I mean, he's in Orlando. If next time I'm in Orlando, I can try to see if I can track him down. But that, I don't think I'm going down there until April, end of April. But I will be going by the card shop at the end of April in Orlando. So I'll pick up some stuff there for you guys. If there's anything anybody's looking for when I go down there, or you're looking for something, anything in particular, I'll keep my eyes out, because I'm going to stop at some car shops in Cleveland that I've already kind of eyeballed. And then I'm going to stop. There's one in Cincinnati that I'm going to stop in. I can't buy too much because I've got to fly back on a plane. So, I mean, I guess I could ship it to myself or something, but if there's something you guys in particular are looking for. And then eventually here, I've got to start buying some prospects for the upcoming season. So I need to start working on that. Obviously, everyone's big on Christian Campbell. I think that's who it is. Let's see, I need a box of 87 Topps. I'm going to go back by there eventually. I mean, they may have it. I mean, I thought that was impressive for a price, because when I looked at it, I was like, can I look at those boxes? And they're like, yeah. And I wanted to look and make sure they weren't, because they're not wrapped. They're not sealed. They're just the open boxes. And I wanted to look at the packs a little bit to see if they look like they were resealed or, something like that. But I mean, they look good, and we'll see. But I thought it was a great deal, especially since I thought $40 was a great deal for the 89 Bowman. And, they had them for 30 there. And like I said, even their new stuff, the Topps Chrome was $250. But what I think it is, and I can't 100% guarantee this, but when I walked in, it seemed like more of a Pokemon shop that had sports cards versus a sports card shop that had Pokemon cards, if that makes any sense. So they might not have known that, they could have gone up higher on those prices, but I think maybe their clientele more. And I don't know. I've never been in there before. And I was in there like the last 20 minutes of when the shop was closing. And I've never been in there before. And so, yeah, it was in Birmingham, Magic City Collectibles. There was another card shop there, but it was further away. And in all honesty, I was trying to get to Dreamland Barbecue. I was trying to get to Dreamland. And I was at UAB, and I was trying to get over to Dreamland. And by the time I got done at UAB and got by the card shop, it was like 20 minutes till they closed. So I looked around the shop real quick. They had some dollar bins and $5 bins and stuff like that, but I didn't have time to look through them. I just looked at the product they had on the shelf, and then I rushed on over to Dreamland and got some ribs and what else did I get? Oh, just like coleslaw and stuff. But yeah, it was in Birmingham. So, I mean, it was a nice shop. It just to me, it presented more as a Pokemon shop that had sports cards versus a sports card shop that had Pokemon. I know, like when I go down to Orlando Sports Cards, they're a sports card shop that, has Pokemon. And so I talked to Kendall, the owner down there at Orlando Sports Cards, and I asked him, I said, what brings in more revenue nowadays? Because he does like Pokemon nights and things like that down at the shop. And I was like, what brings in more revenue? And he said that the Pokemon brings in a decent amount of revenue, but the box prices and the pack prices of the stuff that he has, that the sports cards are still his more dominant revenue stream. And so he has plenty of Pokemon there, but he is definitely a sports card shop. And I went in, he's back there. He has a whole separate shop that he sorts his stuff and has, collections that he buys and goes through. And that's where I sell my commons and stuff when I'm down there. And I mean, he has a whole wall of just 5,000 count boxes. Like I think probably the 300, 5,000 count boxes I have is a lot. And he has that in one room there. And he just sits there burning through cards. I mean, he's just, firing through. And if he runs across something, he slaps it in a penny sleeve and a top loader and puts it out there in the dollar bin. He puts it out for, and so it just kind of depends. And I'm willing to bet that shop in Birmingham is one that's probably the other way around. They probably do a lot of their revenue stream from Pokemon, whether it be through a trade night or through a Pokemon night or game night or something like that. But I know that Kendall had said that he makes a lot. He still makes a lot of his revenue stream from sports cards. So, and his box prices were a little higher when I was down there, but he leaves wiggle room to negotiate. Like he understands how the sports card industry is. There's a need to negotiate. Like people come in there and want to negotiate. The Magic City there, I didn't have an opportunity to negotiate because I didn't have much time and I didn't want to keep them there past their opening hours. And B, I was just I was like, that's a fair price. I don't need to negotiate it. So they may not even negotiate like a regular card shop would do. Nor do I know if they trade in stuff or things like that. But next time I'm there, I'm willing to take some product and see if they'll do any trades or see if they'll negotiate some prices. So, but I recommend you guys stopping by there and checking out if anyone's ever in Birmingham. It's a Magic City Collectibles. So, all right, I was going to shoot for about an hour, so I got about 5 more minutes. You guys want to open a pack or something while I'm sitting here? I got 90 Donruss or 88 Donruss or Pacific Football. Let's see here. I'll set up my little pack ripping display over here. Give me 1 second. You want a Pacific Football? We can do that. Why don't we do one of both? We'll do a Pacific Football and we'll do a 88 Donruss, just a regular pack, not the rack pack. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to turn the camera around. Okay. Whoa, that's at a weird angle, isn't it? Okay. We'll do one of each. I don't see why not. Okay. We'll do 88. We'll do a 92 Pacific Football. Okay. Let's see what we got here. You know what? We'll even do a 90 Donruss as well. See if we can get one of those big error cards. All right, we'll start off with the Pacific Football. Here we go. Try to move this mouse. I need to lower the camera. No, just hold it up here. Yeah, these aren't sealed very well, but okay. I mean, see, they're even in good shape there. All right, we got there's a little breakage. Tom Waddle, Eric Wilhelm. I was a little stuck right there. Kevin Mack. Yeah, these corners are stuck together down here. Vincent Smith, stuck to somebody. Greg Lewis. We got a Mike Utley. Daryl Thompson. Try to get that glare off there for you. Dean, Steinkuhler, with another Dean right behind him. Dean Biasuk. Man, interesting. Oh, yeah. Tim Barnett. Eddie Anderson. Willie Anderson. Mark Clayton. We'll put Mark Clayton on the board. And Anthony Carter. Put my glasses on for this upcoming stuff here. All right, let's do 88 Donruss next. Why not? Always fun to end it with a little rip. Mitch Williams on the back. There's a puzzle card we can add to our other ones that we got in the box over there. Jeff Russell. Chuck Finley. Chuck Finley's not bad. Rob McClure. Greg Catteray. You guys know I'm terrible with names. Lonnie Smith. Tommy Henzo. Jeff Hamilton. Steve Trout. Pat Sheridan. Al Nipper. Frank Williams. Jeff Blauser. Put Jeff Blauser up here. Why not? Just for Braves stardom. Alan Ashby. Greg Walker. Oh, Lance Johnson, rated rookie. There you go. And Mitch Williams. All right. This is where our heat's going to be right here. Hoping for a Griffey or a Bow. That was one of the cards I did not find in the 90 Donruss that I opened up. Was not opened up. When I was searching through the Goodwill stuff, there was not a Griffey in there. So we got a Bob Melvin, got a Cal Ripken All-Star card. Put that up there. That's not too bad. I can live with that. Billy Hatcher, Rick Honeycutt, Wally Backman, Todd Froworth, Carlos Quintana, Mike Witt, Bobby Witt. There you go. Mike Witt and Bobby Witt. Chet Lemon. Joey Cora. David Wells. It's not too bad. We'll put David Wells up there. Dennis Cook. Todd Stoudemire. Mark Guthrie. And Mike Fitzgerald. So I'd say probably Cal Ripken's going to be our winner up there. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not. But yeah. Okay. I'll let everybody go. I'm glad we got to rip a couple packs there at the end. Always makes it a little fun. But thank you guys for sticking around with me. And I'll try to get that baseball league set up, and we'll get a video for it like we did last year, and hopefully everyone can hop in. But thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. We'll be ripping open some 89 Bowman, or what did I say? We might do the Donruss or the 87 Topps. Whatever you guys most want to see, we'll do that night. All right. I'll talk to everybody later.